I think one of the first ones was BonkBot. It's a Telegram trade bot. Has anybody used BonkBot here before? All right. Okay. So we have BonkBot supporting here, and now, and the most recently, of course, BonkFund. Who has used BonkFund? You too. Okay. This guy knows it. So essentially, what we mean by breed is that all of our products generate revenue, right? Maybe fees from LPs, maybe fees from trading, and that revenue, the majority of the portion is used to buy and burn bonds on the market, which is what we mean by reduced supply. So today, 2.5 years in, almost 3 years, we've burned around 12% of our supply, and we anticipate that number is going to rapidly accelerate going into next year. So I'm not going to bore you guys with an encyclopedia talk of all our key products. The list goes on and on. But I will talk about two bigger ones that we're focusing a lot of attention on recently. So BonkFund, for example, is a permissionless launchpad. We launched that a few months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And it's done pretty well. I think we've flipped BonkFund for a little while in terms of market share. But it was never our intention to put BonkFund by any means. It was really just us having a platform that brought more good to the ecosystem. Right? We wanted to return all the fees back into the ecosystem via buying and burning more bonk, or via our BonkSol LSP, and so on and so forth. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. So this is a rough snapshot of one of our products' performance over the past couple of months. And I'll just focus on the bottom number here, which is 163,000 SOL worth of bonk has been bought and burned on the market, which is roughly equivalent to, the math is not too great, around 20-something million US. So this product alone has bought and burned 23 million US worth of bonk. And we anticipate, and it's our intention to continue building products of this magnitude, so that when they all add up together, they're going to be buying and burning essentially quite a lot of bonk daily basis, and burning it. And the more recent one is our NetStack digital asset treasury. So I think digital asset treasuries are a little bit misunderstood, which is why I wanted to talk about this today. So the digital asset treasury essentially is like an equity wrapper for bonk, right? So our ticker is BNKK. You can feel free to look it up on CNBC or Bloomberg. It'll definitely be there. But it's also a means of how we want to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 in terms of public markets. Right? I think a lot of, even my own friends, which some of them are not that old, they have the difficulty about, how am I going to get into crypto? How am I going to custody my crypto, or so on and so forth. So BNKK is meant to be a means of being able to buy direct exposure into bonk without having to go through the KYC of opening like a bonk, crypto exchange, etc. But furthermore, what makes this different than, let's say, ETT or ETF is that we have product revenues that are going into the digital asset treasury as well. So for example, I mentioned BonkFund, right? There is no way for anybody to be able to invest in BonkFund at all, unless you have the underlying token, which is really just buying and burning bonk. So 10% of BonkFund revenue is now going back into the digital asset treasury, and a few more products that we're going to launch this year are all going to be going to the DAT. So this is a little bit of a different thing. Our ETF should be coming soon, is all I can say. So stay tuned for that. I can't tell you that. But for this guy, I'm sure you know a lot about bonk. So that's just two things that we're working on. This is all of the bonk ecosystem products that we have, right? So we have Exchange Art, which is like art. We have Buddies for Paws, which is our charity organization. We've built massive dog adoption centers, like for example in Korea, and also all the way to Bonk Art, Bonk Mirror, Bonk Live, so on and so forth. But outside of that, if you look back to when I mentioned read, there's one thing that's also about adoption and exposure. And for us, over the past year, we've been focusing a lot of that firepower per se on sports. So one of the teams that we are actively involved in is Borussia Dortmund. It's a Champions League football team. Does anybody watch football here? Yeah? Does anybody know what Dortmund is? Okay. Okay, that's good. So why would we want to go with, let's say, Borussia Dortmund? Why would we want to get involved with them? Right? So it's not really a branding play for us. If you visit the stadium, you don't see Bonk all over the stadium, billboards, anything like that. You know, this is not a cool thing for us. It doesn't really do much for us to have billboards in the stadium. But what this gave us the opportunity was to activate the most passionate fan base in the world. Borussia Dortmund have the most passionate fan base. They have the highest attendance fans in every single match of all football teams in the world. And yes, I call it football, not soccer. And so that's the reason why we wanted to work with them. So we have a whole slew of campaigns that we're going to be launching in December that will be designed to, okay, how do we activate that fan base? How do we expose the fan base to crypto without them knowing it's crypto? Because a lot of Web2 retail people are still have the mindset that crypto is scam, right? But I think all of us here will know that crypto does have a lot of great technology and there's great community partners as well. And finally, Bomb DAO. So let's rewind this back to kind of 3 years ago, is that a portion of the airdrop actually went to an entity called the Bomb DAO. So this is a completely split off organization from us, and all they do is really essentially how to support the community. So for example, if you have a project or a product that any of you guys are building, feel free to scan this QR code. It's also on scan this QR code, and then you guys can fill out the form, and the DAO people will get involved. We're very, very happy to be supportive of the community. We want to be able to bring more projects to light, especially if it's a quality project. I think most of the people that know us, they know that Bonk is a community-led project, everything. So if you want to use Bonk as a go-to-market strategy, feel free to hit us up. We'll be happy to support you. Next slide. Can you skip it? Next slide. Okay, so essentially that's all for me. If anybody wants to chat, feel free to come up to us. And a little bit of a Bonk surprise. If you don't have one of these yet, there might be a little token surprise on it, maybe. So we'll be doing it underneath the stairs here at the Bonk table. Highly suggest you guys to grab one of these. But thank you so much for being here. Obviously, feel free to follow us on socials. And thank you very much.
วันนี้นะคะคือเราได้สปีชจากทางบองนั่นเองค่ะโอ้โหจบไปแล้วนะคะในฝั่งของทางบองนะคะซึ่งบอกเลยค่ะว่าไม่ได้มีแค่ฝั่งบองอย่างเดียวนะคะก็ยังมีในฝั่งของบิตคัพด้วยแต่เมื่อสักครู่นี้แอบบอกไปนิดนึงว่าเป็นแอบบอกไว้เป็นฮินต์นิดนึงว่าจะมีคำเรียกว่าอะไรดีอะเรียกว่าเป็นสปอยล์แล้วกันกิจกรรมที่จะเกิดขึ้นในช่วงต่อจากนี้ไป
เหมือนเป็นคำใบ้แล้วกัน
ใช่ค่ะเมื่อกี้เป็นคลาสเลคเชอร์นะคะจากทางบล็อกนะคะซึ่งต้องบอกเลยค่ะว่าทุกดีเทลนะคะที่อยู่ในสไลด์เมื่อสักครู่นี้นะคะจะออกสอบด้วยจะมีเป็นมินิควิซด้วยนะคะก็ติดตามชมด้วยค่ะคุณค่ะ
Okay, that was impressive. So as he said, Bonk is just a dog. It's not just a dog toy, right? It's a culture token that has a lot of utilities, a lot of free products. So that was quite a valuable perspective, by the way. And also, guys at the back, please feel free to sit at the stair on my right-hand side. So yeah, it will be easier for you to have a look at.
ใช่ค่ะ ตอนนี้นะคะยังมีที่ว่างบนสแตนนะคะสามารถนั่งจับจองที่นั่งได้เลยนะคะยังมีพื้นที่ว่างอยู่นะคะเพราะว่ากิจกรรมนะคะที่น่าสนุกของเราก็จะเริ่มขึ้นในอีกไม่กี่อึดใจข้างหน้าแล้วค่ะ
ถูกต้องครับ
ใช่ค่ะ แต่ก่อนที่จะเข้าร่วมกิจกรรมของเรานะคะหรือเข้าสู่ช่วงกิจกรรมนะคะ เรายังมีอีกหนึ่งบุคคลสำคัญนะคะที่จะมากล่าว welcome speech ให้กับทางฝั่งของบินคับในวันนี้นะคะ นั่นก็คือคุณยูท่าคดีรัตน์นั่นเองค่ะ
นี่เขาบินมาจากอเมริกาแล้วก็นะ
ใช่ค่ะ โอ้โห เพิ่งลงเครื่องเมื่อสักครู่นี้เลยนะคะ ถ้าพร้อมไหมคะลูกค้า
พร้อมครับ Up next, another welcome speech by Utah Tamira, Senior Business Project Manager from Bitkub Labs.
ค่ะเขาจะประมือให้กับยูท่าค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีทุกท่านด้วยนะครับ เมื่อกี้เราได้ฟังเซสชั่นภาษาอังกฤษกันไปแล้วน้องก็เดี๋ยวไงผมก่อนอันนี้แนะนำตัวอีกครั้งหนึงนะครับก็ยูท่านะครับดูแลเรื่องpartnership นะครับ business partnership ก็หรือว่าหลายๆคนเรียกว่า call partnership เนาะจริงๆแล้วความร่วมมือของเรากับบองก็มีการเตรียมการไว้เรียกว่าปีครึ่งได้แล้วมั้งใช่ไหมครับเป็นการเตรียมให้เรียกว่าตลาดให้พร้อมก่อนเนาะหลายๆคนอาจจะยังไม่พร้อมสำหรับความร่วมมือรูปแบบมีใช่ไหมแต่ครั้งนี้เรียกว่าเราเตรียมตัวมาอย่างดี ใครเห็นกันมาบ้างครับก่อนหน้านี้เมื่อตอนประมาณ 2-3 สัปดาห์ก่อนเรามีประกาศ listing ใช่ไหมครับแล้วเราก็มีประกาศความร่วมมือด้วยใช่ไหมอันนี้ก็ถือเป็นเรื่องใหญ่นะครับเราไม่เคยประกาศความร่วมมือกับเหรียญโปรเจกต์ใดที่เป็นรูปแบบมีคอยหรือว่า culture token นะครับผม A little bit in English for our international audience. What I'm saying is that this collaboration has been in the works for over 1.5 years. And special thanks to Muffins and the Bond team who have been wonderfully supporting us all throughout this specific period, almost 2 years. We are very supportive of this collaboration and have been working relentlessly, making sure that the entire community is ready to actually look into what a meme token or what we actually prefer to call it, which is a culture token, really is. But instead of the speculative side of things, there's also the educational side, where I think it's very important. Within this event, you'll learn more about Bond. You'll talk to the Bond team, you'll talk to the Bitkub team, and you'll know that both sides' inspirations and visions are very much aligned. And it's because of this that we've been able to move forward over the past year or so, and we'll be doing bigger and better things together, hopefully in the very near future. ก็วันนี้อาจจะไม่พูดอะไรมากนะครับผมอาจจะไม่มีสไลด์มาแต่ก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับเดี๋ยวยังไงวันนี้จะมีกิจกรรมอีกต่อจากผมนะครับรบกวนทุกคนเนาะอาจจะเตรียมตัวนิดนึงมานั่งบนอัศจรรย์ทางด้านซ้ายและขวามือได้เดี๋ยวเราจะมีการเล่นกิจกรรมโดยพิธีกรนะครับแล้วมีแจกของบางคนบอกว่าเฮ้ยของหมดแล้วเฮ้ยทำไมรู้สึกว่าน้อยจังผมรับรองเดี๋ยวมีอีก